It's time for the Trading Stocks Made Easy podcast. Each week, Trading Stocks Made Easy demystifies stock trading and investing so you can profit big. And now, here's the host of Trading Stocks Made Easy, the wealthy investor, Tyrone Jackson.
Hey everybody, it's Tyrone Jackson, the wealthy investor, back for another episode of Trading Stocks Made Easy. Hey, today we're talking about your dream life. Let me ask you a question. Are you living your dream life right now? What I mean by that, are you generating enough income so that you don't have to work unless you wanted to, and you could take vacation, drive fancy cars, and have someone clean your homes, travel when you want, and give money away? You see, living your dream life is not just some notion in your head. It can become real sooner than you think. So let me tell you the inspiration for this episode. Recently, I was having a conversation with someone about creating their dream life. And I was saying to them on a regular basis, hey, once you hit that dollar goal that you want coming in every single month, like, what happens after that? They were like, well, once I hit my dollar goal, they weren't quite sure what happened after that. It doesn't make them a bad person. It just means that they've never planned for their ideal financial life. And a lot of times when we financially see the future or seek to create our future, we choose the smallest version of our future. I would have just enough to pay my bills instead of the grandest version of our future. So let's talk about the law of attraction creating your life, because your perfect future for most people, you are not that far away from it. You see, as we grow up in the world and become adults, we are discouraged from dreaming, visualizing, or thinking about consciously creating our future. Well, in order for you to have the future that you desire, I guarantee it includes residual income. Now, some people create that residual income from direct marketing. Some people create that residual income from real estate. A few people actually get it from an inheritance. And we know that many people create it from the stock market because they have so much investment income coming in. All they really have to do is monitor that investment income on a regular basis. So how do you do that? Well, today we're going to talk about the process of visualization. Visualization. So it would be best if you had something to write down your thoughts and ideas. So let me tell you how it goes for most people who are in major markets like Miami, New York, Chicago, LA. Most people, in order to live their ideal life, need about $25,000 a month coming in. Now, let's think about this $25,000 a month coming in on a regular basis without you having to physically work. How do I know it's $25,000? Well, that's over $300,000 a year. And if you owned a home or had a condo, your mortgage payment is probably going to be somewhere between $5,000 and $10,000 a month with all the fees and taxes, etc., etc. The average person is spending about $1,000 a month on groceries. Then there's a car payment or two. You want to put some money away for taxes, and you want to have money in your savings. So if you had $1,000 a week, Monday through Friday, that you kept in your pocket for your incidentals, for most people, that would be fairly comfortable. Even if you wanted to throw in $1,000 a month for clothes shopping or dresses and things like that, that is a reasonable number. Most people do not need an extra $65,000 a month in order to meet their essentials. Now, if you think about it, your largest bill on a monthly basis is probably housing, because that's what it is for most people. So if your house note or car note is in that, again, $5,000 to $10,000 range, that's how we wind up at that figure. So $1,000 a week spending cash to get you from point A to point B, for most people, that leads to comfort. Well, $25,000 a month coming from your stock market portfolio, that's not really that difficult. You're probably going to need somewhere between $500,000 and $600,000 to make that happen. You see, when you understand what you need, that is the first step towards creating your new life. When you understand what your bills, expenses, and true desires are, you can put them down on a piece of paper, and that's the first step towards making something big happen in your life, because writing things down creates reality. Now, I'm going to talk about something a little metaphysical here, and a lot of people say, I don't know if I believe in that, but here's the best part. It works whether you believe it or not. So let's get started. Giving time to your future in terms of thoughts, writing them down, and the practical steps to actually get there is actually creating your future. You ever talk to someone who's about to retire? Most of the people who are about to retire actually have a plan. I'm going to do this. I get a pension from this, between that and Social Security, and if I pay off my house, they're creating that future. What's unfortunate is most people don't create that future in their 20s or 30s. They don't discover it until the end of their life. So if we knew we wanted to create $25,000 every single month, how much money should we be trading with actively in the stock market in order to do that? Well, for most people, that's in the $500,000 to $600,000 range. How do you get to the $500,000 and $600,000 range in your trading account? You create a plan. So many times you heard me talk about this idea of investigating Dow stocks and buying stocks that are in the Dow. Companies that you know. That could be anything from American Express to Amazon. Do you realize if you're just putting in $1,000 a month into your retirement account, you would be buying the top companies in the United States stock market? Here's the best part. You'd become a shareholder, you'd be holding those shares, and those shares have a tendency to rise. Why? Well, there's institutions who have a plan too. In order for them to get to their goal of $50 to $60 million, they have to be buying X amount of shares month after month after month when the stock goes up, when the stock goes down. We hear that when it comes to mutual funds, that it's called dollar cost averaging. You can actually average your way into a position, and over time, if the history of that company is reliable, those shares will grow. Now, we have certain sectors of the stock market right now that are experiencing accelerated growth. Companies that are investing in technology called artificial intelligence, otherwise known as AI, guess what those companies are doing? They're creating billions and billions of dollars in values, showing investors, enterprise solutions, legal, credit, and every aspect of our life, they are now creating with AI, so that you and I don't have to talk to human beings quite as much. We're going to actually be talking to software when it comes to getting our most important questions answered. If you were to invest in AI today, it would be higher risk than investing in, let's say, Dow components, because we don't yet have a company that is publicly traded that has a fantastic history of producing results in new technologies when it comes to AI. But if we read the report of one company in particular, ORCL, over the last 2 weeks, they just created a brand new AI revenue stream through database and hosting. This was the most exciting thing to happen last week in the stock market, and they can't even meet all the demands of all of their clients. So there are a few select companies involved in AI where you see the revenue stream growing. Me personally, I like those companies that count money, companies like Visa and MasterCard, right? Because we're becoming a credit card-oriented society. We all have a subscription or 2 or 3 or 4, and we use credit cards to pay for that. So in the future, when we think about generations behind you and I, they will be in that same habit. Do you realize that television is no longer free? The only way to access most of television is you're paying someone to bring that signal into your home. Whether it's cable, an app, a streaming service, we now pay for almost all of our external entertainment. Well, that trend is probably going to continue into the future, right? So therefore, when we're choosing stocks that we like, why not choose stocks that not only count money, but also entertainment dollars are expanding. Okay? So if you think about what to invest in to make your ideal life your reality, these are some of the ideas behind that. You own the stocks that are actually moving. You study the revenue of those stocks, and you can grow your account to $600,000 or more within a 5-year period. I teach people how to do it all the time. And when people discover how close they are to living their ideal life, they're shocked. Why? Well, here's the reality. Some people say they want their dreams to come true, but in reality, they don't. They really don't want the financial freedom because that would undo their entire belief systems. This is something that I encounter all the time, which makes me not only a stock market trader and a coach, but a little bit of a therapist at the same time, because just like Tony Robbins, I have to get into a person's life and figure out what their money blocks are. So just saying I want a better financial life is not enough. We need a plan that is written down as to how we're going to get there. Hey, are you living your ideal life? Do you really want things in your life to be spectacular financially? That's what today's episode's all about, and we'll continue right after this.
Want to increase your stock market trading profits? Then you need to start your monthly membership to WITradeschool.com right now. Don't understand how to write covered calls for monthly income? No problem. Simply review Tyrone's latest stock trades in our video library as many times as you need. WITradeschool.com is all about helping you get the financial education you need to earn money in the stock market and change your financial life. Tyrone Jackson, the wealthy investor, has helped his students earn thousands of dollars per month trading stocks online from home. These are people just like you. So what are you waiting for? Follow Tyrone Jackson's red-hot stock trades and investment strategies today. Don't wait. Start your monthly membership at WITradeschool.com right now.
So the whole idea of having a plan is what this episode is all about. Are you living your ideal life? Now, if you're a married couple, you have dual income, right? Which means you have twice the manifestation power between you and your partner, you and your spouse, if you're on the same page about creating that future. Again, we're talking about the idea of making an additional $25,000 a month. It is achievable. It is real if you write it down and buy the stocks that are rising in this particular market environment. So some people like to create that $25,000 a month, owning real estate and stocks and contributing to their 401k. It's all good as long as you have a plan. Whatever your number is, I'm here to show you you're not that far away. Not that far away at all. Well, if you and your spouse can plan a stock market portfolio that gets to about $600,000 in 5 years or less, you will hit your $25,000 a month income target by doing what? Yes, selling covered calls. Covered calls is the single best trade for the individual investor ever created because it allows you, as you know by now, to sell rights to the companies that you own, to those shares that you own. And those rights are what bring in predictable income month after month, week after week, year after year. You know, just as a side note, this morning I was actually doing some trading before I arrived at the recording studio here. And it just feels so natural after 20 years of trading in the market to wake up on a Wednesday and sell out of the money covered calls. In fact, I would be a little bit lost if I didn't have that in my life each and every week. I'd be wondering, well, what am I going to do this week? Trading, like most positive things in your life, is a positive habit. Selling rights to shares that you own is a positive habit. In fact, all wealth is nothing but a series of positive habits. Now, every once in a while, I meet up with someone who loves the money, but they don't like the habit. That's not going to last long. You have to enjoy trading in order to make a lot of money. It has to become a part of your life and your lifestyle. And with the Wealthy Investor Program at your side, it can and it will. Now is the time to be in the stock market, to be studying on a regular basis so you can get to your ideal life. Why? We don't know what the future is going to hold. We know that AI is designed to put people out of work and to help companies downsize. And what the trend after that, we don't know. You have to, and you're going to need a plan in your life moving forward, because if the workforce is shrinking, you are going to need another stream. You can have another stream as long as you have a financial education. So let's just kind of put all this together. We want to start thinking about our ideal monthly income. For most people, if you live in a major market in the United States, it's going to be about $25,000 a month. That's going to help you live comfortably, make your car payment, and a series of things that are nothing but positive will roll out of that. And finally, there's fear. That's what prevents most people from having their ideal life. They're afraid of living their dreams. We will put up with all kind of behavior in our life because it is fear-driven. And there's a wonderful saying, sometimes the devil you know is better than the devil you don't. Well, what if there's no devil to begin with? What if most of our lives are created by our thoughts and feelings? You see, when we don't feel positive, it's harder to create a positive future. That's where gratitude comes in. If you want to put your financial success into overdrive, practice being grateful every single day for what's around you and all of your positive thoughts, ideas, friendships, and interactions. In fact, if you write that down every day, in about 14 days, you'll only see the positive things that go on in your life, and negativity will slowly disappear. What could be holding you back right now is you are not in the habit of chasing your dreams, and someone else's fear is probably interfering with you living your life. That's why we have to be aware of the people around us because, well, they affect our money. It's my hope that today's episode affects your life in a positive way, gets you to thinking about the future that you really desire so you don't have to be around negative people, and most importantly, you don't get caught in the trap of trading time for dollars. Especially with AI coming in, AI could eliminate you from the workforce, and that's fine as long as you're living your financial dreams connected to the stock market and investing. These are all positive things to think about and positive questions to be asking on this day. You know how I always say to you, you and I have met at the right place at the right time in our lives? That really is true. Let the Wealthy Investor Program be a part of your life, uplift you, and teach you what you didn't learn in high school or college so you could live your best life. Living my best life, this is Tyrone Jackson, the Wealthy Investor, saying I'll see you right here next week for the next Trading Stocks Made Easy podcast.
You've been listening to the Trading Stocks Made Easy podcast. Be sure to rate and review our show on iTunes. While you're on iTunes, be sure to click the subscribe button and you'll automatically receive our next episode.